I'm standing on the porch of my son's house. Well, technically his wife's parents' old investment property that they gifted to the happy couple. And I can already feel the tension through the door. The house is one of those modern boxes with too much glass and not enough soul. Everything's white or gray or that sad beige color that rich people think looks expensive. My truck looks like a rust bucket in their driveway next to the matching luxury sedans. I'm 58. I spent 30 years in construction, worked my way up from laborer to foreman, built half the commercial buildings in this county with my own two hands. My back aches when it rains. My knees crack when I stand. My hands are scarred and calloused from decades of real work. I'm not rich, but I'm not broke either. I did honest work, and I raised a son who I thought understood the value of that. I thought wrong. The door opens before I can knock. My son, I'll call him Jason because that's his name and he doesn't deserve my protection anymore, stands there in a sweater that probably cost more than my monthly truck payment. His hair's styled with that stuff that makes it look messy on purpose. He's 32 but trying to look 25. Dad. His smile doesn't reach his eyes. You're early. Traffic was light. Right, well, come in. But listen. He steps closer, drops his voice. Melissa's parents are here. This is important. I need you to just be cool, okay? Be cool, like I'm some embarrassing relative who shows up drunk to weddings. I'm always cool, I say. He gives me this look, this tight, nervous look. I mean it, Dad. Just keep quiet unless someone asks you a direct question. Let me handle the conversation. This dinner is really important for my career. I feel something shift in my chest, something cold and hard. Keep quiet unless spoken to, I repeat slowly. Don't make it sound like that. I'm just saying, these people are important. Melissa's dad has connections. I don't want any awkwardness. Awkwardness. That's what I am now. An awkward presence in my own son's life. Got it, I say. I even smile. My mouth needed a vacation anyway. He doesn't catch the sarcasm. Or maybe he does and just doesn't care. He ushers me inside like I'm a piece of furniture he's trying to hide in the corner. The inside of the house looks like a catalog. Everything matches. Everything's in its place. There's not a single personal touch anywhere. No family photos, no kids' drawings on the fridge, nothing that suggests actual humans live here. Just staged perfection. Melissa's in the kitchen. She's wearing one of those dresses that looks casual but probably cost $400. Her hair's in a perfect ponytail. Her makeup's flawless. She's 29 and looks like she's never had a hard day in her life. Oh, you're here. She doesn't sound happy about it. Melissa? I nod. Hi. She turns back to whatever she's arranging on a platter. We're eating in the dining room tonight. We set you a place at the end. The end. Away from the important people. Jason's already disappeared into the living room where I can hear voices, his in-laws laughing at something. I follow the sound because what else am I supposed to do? Stand in the kitchen like help? The living room's huge. Floor-to-ceiling windows look out on a backyard that's more landscaping than yard. Melissa's parents are sitting on a white couch that looks like it would stain if you breathed on it wrong. Robert and Patricia. I met them at the wedding 3 years ago. They made it clear then that they thought their daughter was marrying down. Ah, there he is. Robert stands, extends a hand. His grip is firm but brief, like he's touching something unpleasant. Good to see you again. You too. Patricia just nods from the couch. She's got that tight smile rich women perfect over decades of judging people. Dad works in construction, Jason says quickly, like he's heading off a question. Used to, anyway. Semi-retired now. Used to. Semi-retired, like I'm put out to pasture. How nice, Patricia says in a voice that means the opposite. We all stand there in awkward silence for a moment. I can see Jason sweating despite the air conditioning. Well, Robert claps his hands once. Should we sit down to dinner? Everyone moves toward the dining room. I follow at the back of the pack. The table's set with china that's probably worth more than my first car. There are cloth napkins, multiple forks, flowers in the center that look too perfect to be real. My seat is indeed at the end, far from everyone else. I sit down and put my napkin in my lap like my mama taught me 40 years ago. The meal starts. Some kind of fish I don't recognize. Vegetables that have been arranged artistically. A wine I definitely can't pronounce. Everyone starts eating and talking, and I do what I was told. I stay quiet. And I listen. Oh, I listen very carefully. Jason's talking about a project. Some commercial renovation downtown. He's using a lot of technical terms, throwing around numbers. Robert and Patricia are nodding, impressed. Melissa's beaming at her husband like he's reciting poetry. But here's the thing about construction. I know construction. I built my career in construction, and I know every contractor, every supplier, every inspector in this county, and I know that the project Jason's describing, the one he's taking full credit for, is using my contacts, my reputation, my relationships that I built over 3 decades. I cut another piece of fish. Stay quiet. Oh, Jason mentions securing materials at a good price. He doesn't mention that he used my vendor accounts that carry my name and my credit history. I sip my water. Stay quiet. He talks about passing inspections smoothly. Doesn't mention that the lead inspector is a guy named Tommy who I've known for 20 years, who probably passed things because he assumed I was involved. I chew slowly. Stay quiet. We're really proud of Jason, Patricia says. He's accomplished so much in such a short time. Built it all himself, Robert adds. That's the American dream right there. Self-made man. Self-made. Using my foundation. Melissa reaches over and squeezes Jason's hand. He works so hard. Sometimes I barely see him. He's so dedicated. I set down my fork carefully. Jason's not looking at me. He hasn't looked at me since we sat down. He's too busy basking in the praise, in the attention, in the image he's constructed of himself. The conversation continues. They talk about expansion plans, about new contracts, about Jason's incredible network in the industry, my network, my contacts, my reputation. We're actually in talks with the Hendersons about their new complex. Should be finalized by Friday. It's a huge deal, probably the biggest of my career. The Hendersons. I know the Hendersons. They're old money, old family, old standards. They don't work with anyone who doesn't have a spotless reputation and a proven track record, which means Jason used my name to get that meeting. I sit back in my chair. Look at my son. Really look at him. He's smiling, confident. Riding high on success he stole from me while telling me to keep quiet so I don't embarrass him. Something in me breaks. Or maybe it wakes up. Hard to tell the difference sometimes. I reach for my water glass, take a slow sip, set it down with deliberate care. Jason, I say quietly. Everyone stops talking. All eyes turn to me. Jason's face goes tight with annoyance. Yeah, Dad? I smile. It's not a nice smile. When exactly are you planning to tell them about the inspection failure? The silence that follows is the loudest sound I've ever heard. Jason's face goes from annoyed to pale in about 2 seconds. Melissa's smile freezes. Robert and Patricia look confused. What? Patricia asks. What inspection failure? Robert's voice sharpens. Jason's mouth opens and closes. No sound comes out. I'm sorry. I keep my tone pleasant, conversational. Maybe I'm confused. Jason, didn't you mention something about an issue with the structural inspection on that last job, the one you were just talking about? Dad. Jason's voice is strangled. What is he talking about? Melissa asks her husband. She's not smiling anymore. It's nothing. Dad doesn't... He's not involved in the day-to-day operations. He doesn't understand. I understand that when an inspector red flags a support beam installation, that's usually not nothing. I take another sip of water. But hey, what do I know? I only did this for 30 years. Robert sets down his fork. Jason, what is your father talking about? Jason's staring at me with something between rage and terror. I can see his mind working, trying to figure out what I know, what I don't know, what I can prove. There was a minor issue that got resolved, Jason says finally. His voice is tight. Dad's making it sound worse than it was. Really? Because Tommy Martinez told me just last week that the report was pretty serious. Something about improper materials? I tilt my head. But maybe I misunderstood. Tommy and I go way back. Sometimes he tells me things that aren't my business anymore. I'm lying. Tommy didn't tell me anything, but I know my son, and I know construction, and I can see the guilt written all over his face. Tommy Martinez? Robert repeats. The city inspector? The color drains completely from Jason's face. How do you know Tommy Martinez? Patricia asks me. Oh, we've worked together for years, decades really. Good man, very thorough. Doesn't let things slide, which is why everyone respects him. I look at Jason. Right, son. You've told them about how Tommy's helped you out, I'm sure. Jason looks like he's going to be sick. Melissa's looking between us now, suspicion growing in her eyes. Jason, did you tell me Tommy Martinez was someone you met through work? He is, through Dad's work. Her voice goes cold. The table is completely silent now, except for the sound of someone's uncomfortable breathing. Might be Jason's, might be mine. Hard to tell because my heart's pounding so hard I can feel it in my throat. I didn't come here planning this. I came here planning to eat dinner and leave and maybe feel sorry for myself later. But sitting at the end of that table, being told to keep quiet like I'm a child or an embarrassment, listening to my son take credit for everything I built while treating me like I'm nothing. Something snapped, and now I can see it all clearly. The lies, the manipulation, the way he's been using me while pushing me away, the way he's built his success on my foundation while telling everyone, including himself, that he did it alone. I should probably go. I stand up, napkin folded neatly beside my plate. I can see this is a family dinner, and I wouldn't want to be awkward. Nobody stops me. Jason looks paralyzed. Melissa looks furious. Robert and Patricia look confused and concerned. I walk to the door, put on my jacket. My hand's on the doorknob when Jason finally moves. Dad, wait. I turn, look at him. My son, the boy I raised and provided for and taught everything I knew. You told me to keep quiet unless spoken to, I say softly. Someone asked me a question. I answered. That's all. You don't understand. No, Jason. I understand perfectly now. I walk out, close the door behind me, get in my truck. My hands are shaking on the steering wheel. Behind me, through the big glass windows, I can see movement, raised voices, Jason gesturing frantically. Melissa's parents standing up. I start the engine, and I smile. Because if that fork dropping was a bomb, I just realized I've been sitting on a whole arsenal, and Jason has no idea what's coming. Before we go any further, hit the hype button, take a second to subscribe and like the video. It really helps the channel grow. And tell us in the comments, what would you do in this situation? I drive home with the radio off, just the sound of my truck's engine and my own thoughts pounding in my head. The house is dark when I pull in. My wife Karen works nights at the hospital. She's a surgical nurse, has been for 25 years. We've got our rhythm down after 34 years of marriage. She leaves dinner in the fridge with reheating instructions written on a sticky note. I leave coffee made for when she gets home at dawn. Tonight, I'm not hungry. I sit in my truck in the driveway for maybe 20 minutes watching the house where I raised my son. It's not much, a 3-bedroom ranch we bought when Jason was 2. The mortgage is paid off now. The roof's only 10 years old. I redid the kitchen myself 5 years back. It's solid, and it's ours, and it's nothing like Jason's sterile showcase. My phone buzzes. A text from Jason. We need to talk, now. I delete it. Another buzz. Melissa this time. How dare you embarrass us like that? You should be ashamed. I delete that too. Inside, I pour myself 2 fingers of whiskey I keep for special occasions. This feels special enough. I sit at the kitchen table and I think. The problem with construction is it teaches you how things are built, not just buildings. Everything. Reputations, relationships, lies. You learn to see the foundation, the support beams, the places where someone cut corners or used cheap materials. And Jason's whole life right now? It's built on a foundation of lies. I pull out my laptop. Yeah, I'm not some dinosaur who can't use technology. And I start searching. Bank accounts, shared vendor accounts, old contracts I signed that had Jason listed as a secondary contact. It takes me an hour, but I find it. There's a vendor account with McMurray Building Supply. I opened it 15 years ago. My name, my credit. 6 months ago, Jason was added to the account. And in the last 6 months, there's been over $40,000 in charges. I never authorized adding him. I never saw a single one of those charges. My hand tightens on the mouse. I dig deeper. There's another account with Industrial Materials, Inc. Same story. My name, Jason added. $22,000 in recent charges. Another account. Another $15,000. My son has been using my name, my credit, my reputation to fund his business. And unless I miss my guess, he's been listing me on contracts to secure jobs, then cutting me out of the profits. The whiskey burns going down, but not as much as the rage burning in my chest. My phone rings. I don't recognize the number, but I answer anyway. Mr. Coleman? A woman's voice. Speaking. This is Janet from Crawford Inspection Services. I'm calling about the outstanding balance on account number. What outstanding balance? There's a pause. Sir, your account is 60 days past due. The amount owed is $3,200 for inspection services rendered on the Morrison Street project. Ma'am, I don't have a project on Morrison Street. Another pause, longer this time. Sir, according to our records, you're listed as the primary contractor. The work was completed in August. The invoice was sent to the email on file. What email? She gives me an email address I've never seen before. It's got my name in it, but it's not mine. Ma'am, someone's been using my name without authorization. I'm going to need copies of all documentation you have. This is fraud. Her tone changes immediately. Oh my God. Sir, I'm so sorry. Yes, of course. I'll get our legal team involved right away. Can you hold for my supervisor? I hold. I'm transferred. I explain the situation again. The supervisor's sympathetic and concerned and promises to send me everything they have and flag the account. When I hang up, I'm shaking. Not just one account. Jason set up multiple accounts in my name. He's been using my identity to fund his business and leaving me holding the debt when things go sideways. That's not just unethical. That's illegal. I should call the police. I should call a lawyer. I should protect myself. Instead, I open a new document on my laptop and I start making a list. Every vendor account I can remember opening. Every contractor I've worked with. Every connection I've made in 30 years. I write it all down, then I start making phone calls. First call is to Tommy Martinez. He answers on the third ring. Coleman, long time. How's retirement treating you? Tommy, I need to ask you something, and I need an honest answer. His tone shifts. What's wrong? My son, Jason. Has he used my name on any projects? Silence. Tommy. Look, man, I didn't want to get in the middle of family business. Just tell me. He sighs. The Morrison Street job. He listed you as the supervising contractor. When I went to do the structural inspection, some things didn't look right. Support beams weren't to code. I tried to call you to confirm specs, but the number on file went to Jason. He said you'd signed off on everything, that you'd changed your number. I never changed my number. Yeah, I figured that out after. I failed the inspection. Jason tried to argue, but I held firm. He got pretty heated about it. Said I was ruining his reputation. I told him if his dad signed off on substandard work, maybe his reputation deserved some examination. My hands are fists. What happened then? He went over my head, filed a complaint with my supervisor, claiming I was biased because of my relationship with you, said I was tanking the inspection out of some personal grudge. Jesus Christ. It got sorted out eventually. My supervisor backed me up. But Jason's on a watch list now with the inspection office. Any project with his name gets extra scrutiny. Did he ever fix the beams? Eventually, after I threatened to report it to the city. Cost him a fortune in rush labor and materials. I heard through the grapevine he had to take out a loan to cover it. A loan, probably against the accounts in my name. Tommy, I need you to do me a favor. I need documentation of everything related to that project. Every inspection report, every email, every phone call log you have. You thinking legal action? I'm thinking I need to know exactly what my son's been doing in my name. I'll email it all to you tonight. Coleman? I'm sorry. I had no idea he was operating like this. Not your fault. Thanks, Tommy. I hang up and stare at the wall. My son. My boy. The kid I taught to swing a hammer and read a blueprint and take pride in honest work. He's been committing fraud, using my name, destroying my reputation. And when it all went wrong, he tried to throw an old friend under the bus to save himself. The Jason I raised wouldn't have done this. But maybe I didn't raise the Jason I thought I did. My phone buzzes again. Another text from Jason. Dad, please, let me explain. You're blowing this out of proportion. Out of proportion. He stole my identity, and I'm blowing it out of proportion. I dial Karen. She answers on the second ring, her voice low because she's obviously in the hospital. Hey, honey. Can't talk long. We've got a surgery starting in 10. Jason's been using my name to get contracts. He's opened accounts in my name. He's been racking up debts I don't know about. Silence. Then, are you absolutely sure? I've got proof. I'm getting more tonight. That little... She stops herself. When she speaks again, her voice is cold in a way I've only heard a few times in our marriage. What are you going to do? I don't know yet. He's also a fraud. He's also family. And family doesn't always mean police and lawyers. Sometimes it means handling things ourselves. I close my eyes. Karen, this is serious. I know it is. And I'm saying be smart about how you handle it. You go to the police, this becomes public. Your name gets dragged through every paper in the county. Every project you ever worked on gets questioned. Every contractor you ever knew starts wondering if you knew what Jason was doing. She's right. I hate that she's right, but she is. So what do I do? You take back what's yours. You protect yourself, and you make damn sure Jason understands that what he did has consequences. Her voice goes softer. But you do it smart, not angry. Smart. A voice in the background calls for her. I have to go. We'll talk when I get home. I love you. Love you too. She hangs up. I sit in the silence of my kitchen. Smart, not angry. But here's the thing. I am angry. I'm more angry than I've been in maybe my entire life. My phone buzzes with an email. It's from Tommy. True to his word, he sent me everything. PDFs of inspection reports, email chains, photos of the substandard work. I open them one by one, and there it is. Clear as day. Jason's signature on documents claiming I'd approved designs. His email address, the fake one with my name, listed as mine. My reputation used as leverage to push through substandard work. In one email chain, I can see where Jason argued with Tommy, claiming, Aldwach, my father taught me everything I know about construction. If he approved these plans, they're solid, using me to defend his own shoddy work. There's a photo attached to one report. It shows the support beams in question. They're undersized for the load they're meant to carry. Any decent contractor would see it immediately. Jason either didn't know, which means he's incompetent, or didn't care, which means he's reckless. Either way, he put his name on it, and my name on it, and someone could have gotten hurt. That's the moment I stop feeling conflicted. You can lie to me, you can use me, you can even humiliate me at your dinner table, but you don't get to risk people's safety and then hide behind my reputation when you get caught. I forward all of Tommy's emails to my personal archive. Then I start going through my filing cabinet. I kept copies of everything. Every contract I ever signed, every account I ever opened. Karen used to tease me about being paranoid, keeping all this paper in the digital age. Turns out paranoia pays off. I find the original vendor account agreements, my signature only. No authorization for additional users. If Jason's been added to these accounts, someone forged paperwork or he lied to the vendors. More evidence. I keep digging. There are old contracts from 5 years ago, back when Jason was just starting out. I'd let him work under my license while he got his own credentials. I'd co-signed a few things to help him build his reputation, standard father stuff, giving your kid a leg up. But then I find something that makes me stop cold. It's a contract from 2 years ago, after Jason should have been fully independent. It's for a renovation project I've never heard of. My name is listed as primary contractor. Jason's listed as project manager. My signature is at the bottom, except I never signed it. The signature looks like mine, close enough that a vendor might not question it, but it's wrong. The loops are different. The pressure's uneven. He forged my signature. I pull out more contracts. 3 more with forged signatures. 4 more where my name is listed without my knowledge. This isn't recent. This isn't new. Jason's been doing this for at least 2 years. How long have I been the ghost contractor funding my son's career? I sit back in my chair. The kitchen light buzzes above me. The house is too quiet. My phone rings. Jason again. This time I answer. Dad, thank God. Listen, about tonight. Did you forge my signature on contracts? Silence. Dad, that's not... It's more complicated than... Yes or no? Did you forge my signature? I needed to list someone with more experience. You always said I could use your name as a reference. As a reference, not as a forged signature on legal documents. It was just a formality. The contracts were solid. I did the work. I just needed your credentials to secure the jobs. Credentials you don't have, because you don't have my experience, because you cut corners and fail inspections and rack up debt in my name. That was one job, one bad inspection. Tommy has it out for me because you tried to throw him under the bus when your shoddy work got caught. More silence. Dad, I can explain everything. I'm sure you can. You're good at explaining, you're good at performing, you're good at playing the successful contractor while using my name to cover your incompetence. That's not fair. You know what's not fair? Finding out your son has been committing fraud for 2 years. Finding out I'm on the hook for debts I never authorized. Finding out that every professional relationship I spent 30 years building is now associated with your failures. I'll fix it. I'll pay back every account. Yeah, you will, but not because you want to. Because I'm going to make you. What does that mean? I should tell him. I should lay out my plan. Give him a chance to fix this voluntarily. But I think about sitting at that table tonight, about being told to keep quiet, about watching him bask in praise for work built on my foundation while treating me like an embarrassment. It means you should have thought about consequences before you used me. I hang up. My hands aren't shaking anymore. They're steady. I open my laptop again and I start making a new list. Not contacts this time, a strategy. Karen said to be smart, to handle it ourselves. Okay, I know construction, I know how things are built, and I know how things are demolished. Jason built his career on my foundation, which means I know every weak point, every crack, every place where pressure will cause it all to collapse. He wants to play contractor? Fine. Let's see how he handles a demolition expert. 2 weeks pass. Jason's in county jail awaiting trial, his lawyer's trying to work out a plea deal, the DA's being tough, wants jail time, restitution, probation, the works. I've testified twice, once to the detective, once in a preliminary hearing. Each time laying out exactly what Jason did, how he did it, the damage it caused. Each time feeling like I'm hammering nails into my son's coffin. Melissa filed for divorce. Fast, brutal, no fault. She wants out before the criminal conviction makes things complicated. Patricia told me Melissa's already dating someone new, some guy from her parents' country club, probably has the pedigree they wanted Jason to have. I should feel vindicated. Instead, I just feel tired. Karen's worried about me. I can tell by the way she watches me when she thinks I'm not looking. The way she makes sure we have dinner together every night. The way she doesn't ask if I'm okay because she already knows the answer. I'm in my workshop on a Wednesday afternoon when Patricia calls. I need to tell you something. About Jason. What about him? We did a full forensic accounting of everything Jason touched in the last 5 years. Found something you should know. What? 3 years ago, there was an issue with one of your old contracts. A liability claim against you for faulty wiring in a building you constructed back in 2015. Someone was threatening to sue. Could have cost you hundreds of thousands. I remember that. The claim was bogus. The wiring was fine when we finished the project. The owner had renovated and screwed it up themselves, then tried to blame the original construction. My insurance company fought it, and it got dismissed. I remember. What you don't know is that Jason hired a lawyer to handle it, used his own money he borrowed from a private lender at terrible rates. He paid the lawyer to fight the claim, and he never told you about it because he didn't want you to worry. He just wanted to protect you. The information hits me like a punch to the gut. What? He went into debt to protect you from that lawsuit. That's actually how this whole mess started. He borrowed money to help you, then couldn't pay it back, so he started using your vendor accounts to cover the debt. It snowballed from there. I sit down heavily. Why didn't he tell me? Because you'd just retired. You were talking about finally having financial security. He didn't want to burden you with legal problems from your old work. So he took on debt he couldn't handle. And then made bad decisions to try to cover it, yes. I don't know what to say. Part of my foundation, the righteousness of my anger, just cracked. Patricia? Why are you telling me this? Because I'm a mother, and I've watched what this is doing to you. The guilt, the anger, the second-guessing. You have a right to know the whole story before this goes any further. He still forged signatures, still lied, still failed inspections. Yes, he did. And he deserves consequences. But maybe he also deserves for you to know he started this trying to protect you. Put after she hangs up, I sit in my workshop for an hour. Not working, just thinking. Jason tried to help me, took on debt to protect me from a lawsuit, then spiraled trying to cover that debt. Then made it worse with lies and fraud and shortcuts. But the beginning was him trying to be a good son. That doesn't erase what he did, but it complicates it. Karen finds me there when she gets home from work. You look like someone died. Worse, I found out my son isn't pure evil. Turns out he's just human. I tell her what Patricia said. She listens quietly. Does it change anything? I don't know. Should it? That's up to you. He still committed crimes. Yes. He still lied and stole and tried to paint me as senile. Yes. But he started all this trying to help me. Also, yes. I look at my wife, my partner of 34 years, the woman who stood by me through everything. What do I do? You decide what kind of man you want to be. The kind who sees only the harm and demands maximum punishment, or the kind who sees the whole picture and decides justice can include mercy? I don't want to forgive him. Then don't, but maybe talk to him. Hear his side. Let him know you know about the lawsuit. See if it changes how you feel. And if it doesn't, then at least you'll know you tried to understand before you destroyed him completely. I visit Jason Thursday afternoon. County jail visiting hours. We sit across from each other with a thick plastic divider between us. He looks thinner, paler. The orange jumpsuit makes him look young and lost. Dad, he sounds surprised. I didn't think you'd come. Patricia told me about the lawsuit. The one from 2015? His face changes. Oh, why didn't you tell me? Because you were finally done, finally retired. You'd worked your whole life and you were supposed to be relaxing. I couldn't put that stress on you. So you took on debt you couldn't afford. I thought I could handle it. I thought I'd get a few good contracts, pay off the loan, everything would be fine, but the contracts took longer than expected. The loan payments kept coming. I got behind, started using your accounts to cover things temporarily. Then inspection issues came up, costs spiraled, and suddenly I was in too deep to admit what happened. So you lied. So I lied. He looks down at his hands. I convinced myself it was temporary, that I'd fix everything before you found out, that I was protecting you. By stealing from me? By keeping you from knowing how bad things were. By maintaining the illusion that everything was fine so you could enjoy your retirement. Jason, I would have helped you. If you'd just asked. I couldn't. Don't you get it? My whole life I've been your son. The contractor's kid. The working class background that Melissa's family looked down on. I needed to prove I could do it myself. That I was more than just your shadow. So you committed fraud to prove your independence. I made bad choices trying to fix a good intention. We sit in silence for a moment. I'm sorry, Dad. Not just sorry I got caught. Sorry for what I did. Sorry for how I treated you. Sorry for all of it. He sounds like he means it. But people in jail always sound sincere. The DA's offering a plea deal. 2 years probation, 6 months county time, full restitution, community service. I know, my lawyer told me. Are you taking it? Do I have a choice? If I fight it, I could get worse. You could, or you could get lucky. Jury might be sympathetic, might see the whole story. What do you think I should do? And there it is, the question I've been dreading. I think you should take the deal, do the time, pay back what you owe, rebuild your life the right way this time. With you or without you? That's the real question, isn't it? I don't know yet. Ask me in 6 months. Fair enough. He looks older somehow, like this whole experience aged him years. Dad, when I get out, if there's a chance we can fix this, will you teach me, the right way this time, how to build a reputation honestly? Maybe, if you're serious about learning. I am. I swear I am. I want to believe him. Part of me does believe him, but I've been burned too many times. Take the deal, do the time, we'll talk when you're out. I leave before I can change my mind, before the father part of me overwhelms the rational part. Karen's waiting in the truck. How'd it go? He's taking the deal, 6 months. And after? After we'll see. Friday morning, Jason accepts the plea deal. The judge is harsh in sentencing, makes it clear this behavior won't be tolerated, but sticks to the agreement. 6 months county jail, 2 years probation, full restitution of $67,000, 500 hours community service. Jason looks at me from the defendant's table. I don't smile, don't encourage, just nod once. An acknowledgement. Outside the courthouse, reporters are waiting. Someone leaked that this was a father-son case. They want my statement. I keep it brief. My son made serious mistakes. He's paying for them. That's how justice works. I hope he learns from this experience. That's all. Karen guides me to the truck before they can ask more questions. You did good, she says. Did I? I put my son in jail. You held him accountable. That's different. Maybe. Or maybe it's just revenge dressed up in righteous language. The next 6 months are strange. Life goes on. I finish Karen's dresser, take on some small projects from old friends. Not contracting work, just repairs, advice, helping people I trust. My reputation survived Jason's mess. Turns out most people in the industry understood what happened, saw it as a father being victimized by a troubled son, not a contractor's integrity failing. Tommy Martinez calls me sometimes, just to check in, make sure I'm okay. Patricia and Robert invite us for dinner once. Awkward but civil. They're trying to rebuild their relationship with Melissa, trying to help her move on from Jason. 4 months into Jason's probation, we're working on a commercial renovation, a small office building being converted into apartments. Nothing major. I'm overseeing the structural modifications. Jason's been doing grunt work since his release. Today's different, though. Today I'm testing him. Need you to check these load calculations, I tell him, handing over a blueprint. Tell me if the support beams are adequate for the new floor plan. He looks surprised. You want me to do structural analysis? Unless you can't. No, I can. It's just, you haven't let me touch anything technical since I got out? Because you haven't been ready. Now I'm asking if you're ready. Are you? He takes the blueprint, studies it carefully, pulls out a calculator. I watch him work. He's slower than I'd be, less confident, but he's methodical. Careful. He checks his math twice, cross-references against building codes. After 30 minutes, he looks up. The original spec calls for W12X45 beams. Based on the new floor plan load and the span distance, we need W12X58 minimum. Maybe W12X65 to be safe? I check his math. It's right. Actually, it's conservative. The kind of over-engineering that costs a bit more but prevents problems down the road. Why the W12X65? The 58 would meet code. Because we're in an earthquake zone and this building's old. The foundation might have settled unevenly. Better to overbuild than to fix a catastrophic failure later. He's learning. Actually learning. Good work. Write up the recommendation for the contractor. Copy me on the email. Really? Really? But Jason, put your name on it. Your certification. This is you doing the work, not me. He nods slowly. What if I'm wrong? Then we fix it. That's what supervision means. I check your work, you check mine, we make sure it's right before anyone gets hurt. I won't let you down. Don't let yourself down. That's more important. We work through the rest of the day. Jason writes up his recommendation, emails it to the contractor with me CC'd. The contractor emails back approving the change and thanking us both. On the drive home, Jason's quiet. When we pull up to his apartment, a small studio he's renting with what he earns from working for me, he doesn't get out right away. Dad, can I ask you something? Yeah. Do you think I'll ever get my license back, my contractor's license? After the conviction, the state licensing board suspended his license pending review. He might never get it reinstated. Honestly, I don't know. You'd have to petition the board, prove you've rehabilitated, show years of good work under supervision. Even then, no guarantee. Would you recommend me, if I petitioned? The question hangs in the air between us. Ask me in another year. Fair. He gets out, turns back before closing the door. I know I don't say it enough, but thank you for not giving up on me completely. I haven't decided if I'm giving up or not. This is probationary, for both of us. I know. He closes the door and heads inside. I watch him go. Watch him climb the exterior stairs to his second-floor apartment. Watch the light come on inside. Karen's waiting when I get home. Dinner's ready. How'd it go today? I gave him actual technical work. He did well. That's good, right? I think so. It's hard to tell if he's really changed or if he's just good at performing again. Give him time. Real change doesn't happen in 4 months. We eat in comfortable silence. 35 years of marriage means we don't always need words. After dinner, I'm in my workshop when I find something I forgot I had. A photo from 10 years ago. Jason at 22, working on his first independent project. He's wearing my old tool belt, covered in sawdust, grinning at the camera. He looks so young, so eager, so uncorrupted by ambition. When did that change? When did proving himself become more important than being himself? My phone buzzes. A text from Jason. Thanks for today. It meant a lot. I stare at it for a long time before responding. You earned it. 3 words, but they're true. The next morning, we're at the site early. The contractor wants to talk about the beam upgrade, wants Jason to walk him through the reasoning. You sure? Jason asks me quietly. You don't want to present it? It's your recommendation. Own it. He does. Explains the calculations, the safety factors, the long-term thinking. The contractor's impressed. Asks if Jason's available for consultation on future projects. I'm on probation, Jason says honestly. I can't work independently yet, but my dad oversees everything I do. The contractor looks at me. You vouch for him? Do I? This is it. The moment where I either commit to rebuilding this relationship or I keep him at arm's length forever. I vouch for his work, I say carefully. He's still learning, still proving himself, but the work's solid. Good enough for me. I'll call if something comes up. After the contractor leaves, Jason looks like he might cry. He's willing to work with me, despite everything. People are willing to give second chances. You just have to earn them. I'm trying. I know. We work through lunch. Around 3 p.m., I get a call from Detective Chen. Mr. Coleman, I wanted to give you a heads up. We closed the case officially. Jason's completed his restitution payments. All victims have been made whole. From a criminal justice perspective, this matter is resolved. That's good. How are you doing with everything? I'm managing. And your son? He's working, staying clean. We're figuring it out. I'm glad. Not many of these cases end with the family intact. We're not intact. We're broken. But we're trying to rebuild. That's more than most people do. After she hangs up, I realize something. The anger's gone. Not completely. There's still hurt, still betrayal, still pain. But the burning rage that drove me to destroy Jason's life, that's faded. Now there's just exhaustion and something like hope. Karen was right. Justice and revenge are different things. Justice means consequences and lessons learned. Revenge just means making sure everyone hurts as much as you do. I don't want revenge anymore. I just want my son to become someone worth respecting. That evening, I take Jason to dinner. Nothing fancy. A diner we used to go to when he was a kid. Why are we here? He asks. Because we need to talk, really talk, about everything. We order. The waitress remembers me, doesn't recognize Jason until I introduce him. When she leaves, Jason looks uncomfortable. What do you want to talk about? The last 18 months, all of it. I want to understand how you got from trying to help me with that lawsuit to committing fraud. Walk me through the actual decisions, not excuses, just what happened. He takes a breath, starts talking. He tells me about taking on the debt, about thinking one good contract would fix everything, about that first time he used my vendor account temporarily and how easy it was, about the inspection failure and the panic that followed, about lying to Melissa because he couldn't admit he was drowning, about the dinner where he told me to stay quiet because he was terrified I'd expose him. I knew you could see through everything, he says. You built your whole life in this industry. Of course you'd spot the problems. I just hoped you'd stay quiet long enough for me to fix it. You weren't going to fix it. No, I was going to bury it deeper. That's what I did. When something went wrong, I covered it with another lie, then covered that lie with another, until the whole thing collapsed. Why didn't you just ask for help? Pride, shame, fear, all of it. He looks down at his hands. And because asking for help meant admitting I wasn't as good as I pretended to be, meant accepting that I needed you, and I spent so long trying to prove I didn't need anyone. Everyone needs someone, Jason. That's not weakness. That's being human. I know that now. Our food arrives. We eat quietly for a while. Where do we go from here? I ask finally. I don't know. Where do you want us to go? I want us to have an honest relationship, not father and son performing roles, just two people who care about each other and tell the truth even when it's hard. I want that too. Then no more lies, not about work, not about money, not about anything. You're struggling? Tell me. You made a mistake? Tell me. You need help? Tell me. Even if it's embarrassing. Especially if it's embarrassing. That's when people need the most support. He nods. Okay, deal. We finish dinner, drive back to his apartment. Before he gets out, I stop him. Jason? Yeah? I'm proud of you for how you've handled these last few months. The work, the honesty, the humility, that's not easy. He looks surprised. Really? Really. You're becoming someone I'm proud to work with. That's not nothing. He wipes at his eyes quickly. Thanks, Dad. Don't make me regret saying it. I won't. I promise. He goes inside. I sit in my truck for a minute before driving home. Karen's on the porch when I pull up. You two made peace? Something like that. We made a start. Good. Because life's too short to stay angry forever. She's right. She's always right. Inside, I sleep better than I have in months.